8 animes to watch before the world ends. As the coronavirus sweeps through the world, why don't you kick back and transport yourself to another animated world? Hello, and welcome to Info Junkie TV, where you can always be sure to find mind-blowing videos that show you everything that's out of the ordinary. Our aim is to bring you the most thrilling facts, everything interesting and rare that we find in this world of ours. In this video, we're counting down our top 8 must-watch animes. We excluded ongoing animes and limited our list to Japanese anime only. Sorry, Rick and Morty fans. We can't wait till you get to number 1, the one that we couldn't stop rewatching over and over again and consider as a must-see. So sit back, Infomaniacs, and enjoy the list. Number 8, Ergo Proxy. Arguably one of the most underrated and intellectual animes of the 2000s, Ergo Proxy tackles themes of humanity, existentialism, and identity like no other. Set within the domed city of Ramdo, where the last human civilizations on Earth lies, autoreivs, or humanoid-like robots, have been created to assist people in their day-to-day lives. However, autoreivs have begun contracting an enigmatic disease called the Cogito virus, which grants them self-awareness. Riel Meyer, granddaughter of Ramdo's ruler, is assigned to investigate this phenomenon alongside her autoreiv partner Iggy. The story then shifts back and forth between Riel and autoreiv specialist Vincent Law, who must also face his demons when surreal events begin occurring around him and find out the truth about the mythical beings called proxies. The anime style and animation is cyberpunk and grotesque to say the least. Think Blade Runner meets The Matrix. The anime is packed with psychological and philosophical themes that weaves through the story so easily without being too cliché. The grim art style that it incorporates also captures the doomed and dull mood of being the last civilization left on Earth. Be prepared to have your mind blown away and wonder what the heck is going on many occasions, as several plot twists occur within the show. While it might be the most bizarre anime that we have on the list so far, it's not quite as strange as number 1. You just wait. Number 7, Samurai Champloo. I mean, come on, how can we leave it out of this list? Set in an alternate Edo period of Japan, Samurai Champloo follows the journey of 3 eccentric individuals in an epic quest full of action, comedy, and dynamic sword fighting like no other. It revolves around Fu Kasumi, a young and clumsy waitress who spends her days peacefully working in a small tea house. That is until she accidentally spills a drink all over one of her customers. With a group of samurai now incessantly harassing her, Fu desperately calls upon another samurai in the shop, Mugen, who quickly defeats them with his wild fighting technique, utilizing movements reminiscent of hip-hop breakdancing. Unfortunately, Mugen decides to pick a fight with the unwilling Ronin Jin, who wields a more precise and traditional style of sword fighting, and proves to be a formidable opponent. The only problem is, they end up destroying the entire shop as well as accidentally killing the local judge's son. For their crime, the 2 samurai are captured and set to be executed. However, they are rescued by Fu, who hires the duo as her bodyguards. Even though she no longer has a place to return to, the former waitress wishes to find a certain samurai who smells of sunflowers, and enlists the help of the now exonerated pair to do so. Despite initially disapproving of this idea, the 2 eventually agree to assist the girl in her quest. Thus, the trio embarks upon an adventure to find this mysterious warrior. That is, if Fu can keep Mugen and Jin from killing each other. Samurai Champloo is Shinichiro Watanabe's first directorial effort after the critically acclaimed Cowboy Bebop that was released in the 80s. The series includes a gorgeously unique style of animation, a group of brash misfits, and one hell of a soundtrack produced by the late Nuhabi that ensures it remains one of the best anime ever made. Number 6, My Hero Academia. If you want to know what any kid is watching these days, then it's probably the ever-popular My Hero Academia. For the unfamiliar with the anime, the story is set in a world where most of the human race has evolved to possess superpowers, casually known as quirks. The main character, Izuku Midoriya, nicknamed Deku, is one of the few people born without a quirk. But a chance encounter with the world's greatest superhuman, All Might, whose powers can be inherited, puts him on the path to becoming an amazing hero. As part of that path, he attends high school specifically for heroes in the making, which is where the show is primarily set. What's interesting about My Hero Academia is the diversity of characters. Obviously, a school requires teachers, students, and other staffers, all of whom are thoroughly developed, have unique and engaging personalities, and of course, have their own epic powers, ranging from being able to sweat ignitable nitroglycerin and create explosions, to having the physical capabilities of a frog. Yeah, seriously. Like other shonen animes such as Dragon Ball Z or One Piece, the themes are also impactful. As in the real world of My Hero Academia, some students are born privileged and talented, while the main character is born without a power at all, and he has to deal with that, even after he inherits a power, which he struggles to use because he went so long without one. The villains, too, are compelling and complicated, not strictly after world domination or whatever other crap bad guys usually want. Instead, these villains are in some roundabout way frequently attempting to help the world, or at least expose some of its underlying problems. In general, this is another fun anime with some really creative characters that make it feel different and more compelling than your usual tired superhero stories. Number 5. Bleach. Taito Kubo's Bleach is a manga and anime series that's very divisive. While some fans hailed it as one of the best shonen manga of all time, others didn't quite get it. Is it witchcraft? Spiritual samurai? Or your usual Japanese high school drama? The answer is all of the above. Bleach follows our young hero Ichigo Kurosaki, a hot-headed teenager whose special talent is seeing ghosts. This special talent leads him to meet supernatural trespasser Rukia Kuchiki, coincidentally who enters Ichigo's room in search of a hollow, a kind of monstrous lost soul who can harm both ghosts and humans. We then find out that Rukia is one of the Soul Reapers, a group of soldiers that are mainly trusted with ushering the souls of the dead from the world of the living to the Soul Society, the afterlife realm from which she originates, as well as fighting the Hollows. As the series goes on, Rukia gets brutally injured, leaving her with no choice but to lend her power to Kurosaki, and that's where the story begins to heat up. Let's face it, Kurosaki is a badass. His fighting sequences, cool haircut, and charismatic personality really draw you in. He's even friends with Akon. No, not that Akon, but this one. Another thing that really makes Bleach special is the incorporation of orchestral music during fight sequences. Imagine Chopin or Beethoven scoring a samurai movie in the mid-1700s. At the height of its popularity, it managed to sell a whopping 120 million copies worldwide. And they say anime is just for kids. Number 4. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. One of the best written animes of all time, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood talks about brothers Edward and Alfonso Elric, who live alone with their mother after their father left them. The father, who we later find out as the ever-so-knowledgeable Hohenheim, is a well-known alchemist. Yes, the ancient form of chemistry that's kinda like magic and uses potions and stuff. The brothers were ecstatic about alchemy and dabbled in it from time to time. One day their mother died, and they decided to bring her back to life via transmutation, only to literally pay an arm and a leg for their actions. Yes, we meant that literally. We then join the brothers' adventures towards trying to right the wrongs and unveil the truth about alchemy. Everything is beautiful in this anime: the storytelling, the animations, the character development, and the side stories. Fullmetal Alchemist is one of the strongest animes story-wise, and the animation really complements it. And as far as the story goes, the anime begins on one note and finishes on another. We don't want to spoil it for you any longer, so we really recommend watching it after this video. Another great thing about it is it's suitable for all ages. You'll be able to watch it with your parents and younger siblings without worrying about a sudden jump scare popping up. While this might be one of the strongest animes of all time, it's not quite as enticing as number 1. Number 3. Naruto Shippuden. Considered the biggest and largest anime franchise that we have on the list in terms of episodes, capping off more than 750 episodes, many people might have known or heard of Naruto and Toonami in the US or Space Toon in the Middle East. The anime will occupy a lot, and I mean a lot, of your time to complete. Well, at least it's not as long as One Piece or Case Closed. But even with all that bulk to watch, Naruto still deserves to be watched in its entirety if you're into ninja stuff without skipping any of its parts, even though it does drag a bit in its arcs. The story begins after the inhabitants of the village of Anoa get attacked by a giant nine-tailed fox. After a long battle, the village's chief, Fourth Hawking, claims that the only way to beat him is to contain the spirit of the fox within my young son, Naruto. Weird, but okay. And this led to the sacrifice of his father, and after that, we follow Naruto and his amazing adventures and how he became a ninja, how he met his friends, and how he joins and fights clans. The anime's success led to a multimedia franchise, spawning several OVAs, or original video animations, video games, trading cards, and a clothing line. Even the anime's many hand signs have been integrated into popular culture among fans of the show. Number 2. Hunter x Hunter. The struggle with the most intricate multi-arc animes is preventing it from going stale halfway through, and that is what makes Hunter x Hunter so special. Unlike most animes where the character is really overpowered from the get-go, you get to see Gon Freaks transform from a weak kid to a martial arts expert. The story follows Gon, who after meeting one of his father's old apprentices called Kite, who tells him that he's a world-known hunter, decides to become a hunter and look for his father. The great thing about the anime is that the character development really steals the show here. Gon and his friends Killua and Kurapika undergo several life-changing incidents that transform them physically and mentally. The anime is really humanistic and emotional, leading you to cry every couple of episodes when some of your favorite characters die. The villains are as equally interesting and well-developed as the anime's main characters. The Phantom Troop and Hisoka are some of the coolest and most memorable villains that have come across anime in a long time. The show's creator regrettably put the anime and manga on hold since 2011, leading many fans to obsessively watch his every move. Now that we've gotten to our number 1 must-see anime, Infomaniacs, we'd like to give a shout-out to some animes that didn't make the list, but are still worth watching. Number 1. Death Note. If there is one anime that caused a huge buzz around the anime world, it's Death Note. No one can disagree that Death Note is one of the weirdest and most entertaining shows of all time. Even if you don't watch anime, Death Note will surely draw you in no time. The story follows a school geek called Light Yagami, who one day while walking aimlessly picks up a mysterious book with the label Death Note. He then curiously opens the book and finds instructions on the first page of how to use it. Write someone's name, think of their picture, and voila, they'll die in 30 seconds. Yep, it's that simple. Yagami didn't believe it at first, but after several death cases, he started to become bewildered by the book. Unhesitantly, several people began to question the sudden deaths, to the point that Interpol had to intervene and thoroughly investigate the case. What follows is a cat-and-mouse game with each character trying to block the trail of the other. The anime's strength comes from its brilliant visuals, story, and excellent soundtrack. It's one of those atypical animes where the story isn't overstuffed with fighting sequences and fake heroic mantras. It's the exact opposite. The hero isn't the strongest physically and doesn't necessarily fight with his fists, but with his pen. Shortly after its release, Death Note attracted many Japanese high school students to recreate their own Death Note and use it against their teachers and classmates. Watch out, Miss St. Clair! Time for a quick recap. We just listed our recommendations of the top animes to watch. Of course, we couldn't squeeze in everything, but we managed to round up a little bit of everything from the huge world of anime. From psychological thrillers that'll keep you up at night, to adventurous animes that'll have your blood pumping indoors. There's something for everyone. Do you agree with our list, Infomaniacs? Make sure to tell us about your favorite animes down in the comments section below, or any anime we failed to mention. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications bell to be notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. And as always, thank you for tuning in to InfoJunkie TV.